Good evening, students. So, we are going to discuss today the linear equation into two variables. My name is KULDEEP Yadav, and let's discuss the linear equation in two variables. In previous classes or the previous class, we have already discussed the linear equation in one variable. Since we know that what are variables and what are the constants, okay? So basically, the linear equation in one variable is an equation of the form like ax plus b is equals to 0. In this equation, we see that there is only one variable, that is x, while a and b are the constants. So a equation that contains only one variable and the degree of the whole equation is gonna be 1, and the degree of the equation denotes the maximum power of the whole equation. That means the maximum power of the variable in this equation, that is 1. So it is the linear equation in one variable with degree 1. So this kind of equation is known as the linear equation in one variable. Okay, so but our topic is linear equation in two variable. And what's that? The equation of the form like ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, or ax plus by is equals to c. These two equations. So the form of these two equations are known as a linear equation in two variables, because there are two variables. Number one is x and number two is y in both the equations, while a, b and c are constant terms. Okay, so these form of the equations are known as the linear equation in two variables. So we will discuss today how to solve these two equations, how to solve these kind of equations. Okay, so there is a phenomena, there is a rule actually. In a given particular linear equation, we have to count the number of variables. Number of variables defines the number of equations that we are going to use to solve the equations. So basically, in linear equation in two variables like ax plus by plus c is equals to 0, there are two variables. In ax plus by plus c is equal to 0, there are two variables x and y. So we need two type of equations of these linear equation in two variable to solve out these values of x and y. Okay? To solve these values or to solve these kind of equations, there are lots of methods. I mean basically 4 methods. Number one method is substitution method. Number 2 is cancellation method. Number 3 is cross multiplication method. And the number 4 is graph method. Okay, so to solve out the linear equation in two variables, we basically require these 4 kind of methods. Number 1 is substitution method, number 2 is cancellation method, number 3 is going to be cross multiplication method, and number 4 is going to be graph method. Okay, so let's talk about the number 1, that is substitution method. Number 1 is substitution method. So in substitution method, let us take the example like I have two equations, 3x plus 4y is equals to 7, or let's take another equation, 3x plus 6y is equals to 30. Let's take these two equations to solve out these two. So the first method is substitution method, number 1 and the number 2. So in this method we have to require to substitute the particular value in the given equation. Okay, so what will we do? Firstly, step 1, we will take the equation number 1 and solve out for the value of x in terms of y. So from here, 3x plus 4y is equals to 7. Now we have to calculate the x from here in terms of y. That is, the 3x is equals to 7 minus 4y. Again, the x is gonna be 7 minus 4y upon 3. Now we will substitute this x in equation number 2. So now it's gonna be 3 times of the value of x from equation 1, from equation 2 now. 3 times of the value of x is gonna be 7 minus 4y upon 3. That is 3 multiplied by 7 minus 4x, sorry, that is the y, 4y whole divided by 3. The 3 and 3 is going to be cancelled out, and the next term was plus 6y, that is equals to 13. Now, after calculation, we can see that the 3 is going to be cancelled out, and now 7 minus 4y plus 6y is going to be 13. In these two, we can see that these two are going to be subtracted to each other. That is, it will give you 6y minus 4y, it will give you 2y. Okay? And the rest one is going to be 13 minus 7. Clear? So from here, y is equals to 13 minus 7 is going to be 6. And from here, it is 2y. From here, y is equals to 6 upon 2, that is going to be 3. And that will leave you the y is equal to 3. Okay? So we have the value, that is y is equal to 3. Now moving to the next. Let's take this value of the y and putting in any equation, either 1 or 2. It's gonna be 3 multiplied by x plus 4 into y, and the value of the y is gonna be 3, and particularly it is gonna be 7. Now this is 3x plus 4 3s are 12 is equals to 7. Okay, now from here 3x is equals to 7 minus 12, and that is going to be 3x is equals to minus 5, and the value of x is going to be minus 5 upon 3. So now we have solved these two equations as x is equals to minus 5 upon 3 and y is equal to 3. So in substitution method, we have seen that we find the value of x in terms of y, and that value of x is going to be substituted in another equation at place of x, and rest are the solutions as to get the y is equals to 3 and x is equals to minus 5 upon 3. Okay, so now let's talk about the another method, that was cancellation method. Number 2 was cancellation method. In cancellation method, we require, let's take the two equations to solve out. Let's take the same equation, that are 3x plus 4y is equals to 7 and 3x plus 6y is equal to 13. Now we are going to solve out these two equations with the method of cancellation method. Okay, so there is equation number 1, equation number 2. Now in this method we have to equate any two kind of terms, either the variable x or the variable y. Here we can already see that the coefficients of the x are the same, that are 3 and 3. So we don't need extra things to equate these two terms. Okay, so simply we are going to subtract these two equations, equation 1 and equation 2. So the procedure of the subtraction is going to be, we have to change the signs of these terms in subtraction. That means it was in plus, then now the main sign of this particular term is minus, here again minus, and here it is also the minus. Now it's going to be cancelled out because one is in plus and another one is in minus. the plus and minus, both the terms are having opposite signs and they are going to subtract it, and the value is going to be minus 2y, and from here we can have the value minus 6. Now minus and minus is going to be plus, y is equals to 6 upon 2, and that will leave you the value 3. So we have the value of y that is equals to 3. Now putting this value of y in any kind of equation like equation 1 or 2, we have the value of x. Now this is 3x plus 4 into y, that was 3, that is equals to 7. From here 3x plus 4 3s are 12 is equals to 7, and 3x is equals to 7 minus 12, and from here x is equals to minus 5 upon 3. So we have the value, we get the value of the y as well as the x. So here it is, the value of the y is going to be 3 and value of the x is going to be minus 5 upon 3. In both the methods, cancellation method, either the substitution method, we have same values. Okay, so here we have the solution as the y and x. Okay, let's talk about the third method, that was cross multiplication method. In cross multiplication method, let us consider the general equations, like number third was the cross multiplication method. Cross multiplication method. Cross multiplication method, let us consider two another equations in general form, like a1x plus b1y plus c1 is equals to 0, while a2x plus b2y plus c2 is equal to 0. These two are the general terms, general equations, equation number 1 and equation number 2. To solve these two kind of equations, we require a kind of equation formation like x upon, we have to compare the coefficients in the form this. We write x upon something, y upon something, and is equals to, in place of the constant term there is no any kind of a variable, so we will put 1 upon some. Okay? So if these constant terms were this side, that means that means when then we are going to write down here the value minus 1 as. Okay, so equal के इस तरफ होगा तो that was gonna be plus 1, and इस तरफ होगा तो that is gonna be minus 1. Okay, so if we are going to compare the value of denominator in x, now we need to hide this particular part. Okay, so if we hide this particular part, we have b1y plus c1 and b2y plus c2. So in this we have to multiply from upward to lower direction, since there is a cyclic process. After a there is a b, after b there is a c, and after c there is a also again a. So from b1 to c2, that means b1 multiplied by c2 minus b2 multiplied by c1. Again, to write the denominator of y, we have to hide the value of y, and after y there is a constant term, and that is c1. c1 into a2 minus c2 into a1. And to write down the constant terms, we have to hide the constant terms, and then again after c there is a a1 into b2 minus a2 into b1. By comparing these, we have the values as x upon b1 c2 minus b1 c1, y upon c1 a2 minus c2 a1, and 1 upon a1 b2 minus a2 b1. And after writing these coefficient a1 b1 c1 and a2 b2 c2, we have to compare, we have to equate these two terms with constant term, and then we will find the value of x and y. Okay, so if I take the same question as it was previously discussed, that was 3x plus 4y is equal to 7, and 3x plus 6y is equal to 13. So what we have? We have x upon b1 c2. This is b1, that is 4 multiplied by c2. What is c2? b1 c2, that is minus 13. Since it is in the right side of the equation, so we have to put it back into the left side. So it is going to be minus 13. So 4 into minus 13 minus B2C1. B2 is 6 multiplied by C1 is minus 7. So, and we have to equate this term with this constant term, that is equals to 1 upon something A1 B2. What is A1? That is 3. B2 is 6 minus A2 B1, that means 3 multiplied by 4. So now what will we have? X upon minus 52 minus minus plus 42. Okay, this is gonna be 1 upon 18 and 12. Okay, so let's consider it. What's the value is gonna be? From here, x is equals to, see, minus 52 plus 42 will give you x upon minus 10, further equals to, this will leave you 1 upon 6. From here, if we transfer this 10 to the other side, it is gonna be in numerator part. From here, x is equals to minus 10 upon 6. 2 3s are 6, 2 5s are 10, and from here we will get the value x is equals to minus 5 upon 3 as it was the previous value. So hence, in the same way we will calculate the value of y, and we will get the value of y as 3. So here we have discussed the 3 methods. Number 1 was cancellation method. Number 2 was number 1 was the substitution method. Number 2 was the cancellation method, and number 3 was the cross multiplication method. There is another method, that is the graph method. This method basically requires the graphs on which we have to place the particular equation ax plus by plus c is equal to 0 on a graph, and the a1x, b1y, c1 is equal to an a2x plus b2y plus c2 is gonna be 0. After plotting these two equations on the graph, we will get basically the point of contact or the point of intersection of these two lines, and this will give you the solution of these two lines. Okay, so today students, we have discussed the linear equation in 2 variables and the particular solution of the how to solve these two equations in a different manner or different with the help of the different methods. So we have discussed number 1, that was the substitution method. Number 2 was the cancellation method, and number 3 was the cross multiplication method, and in the last the method was the graph method, in which we have to plot these two equations on a graph paper, and after plotting these two equations we will the point of intersection of these two lines, and that point of intersection was will gonna be the solution of the given equations. Okay, so thank you class, thank you so much.